What's up, y'all? This is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it. If you could, the like button, subscribe button, notification button, stay up to date with all of my future Teachable Tuesdays content. And today is going to be a very interesting video. First of all, I want to welcome you to a Teachable Tuesday Shorts, where in 5 minutes or less, I do my best to talk about a topic that you guys came up with, that I had an idea for, or something that I had in mind. And today we're going to talk about plagiarism. The reason why plagiarism came to mind for today's topic is because I'm kind of on a school-wide, some school type of videos, education, whatever. And, you know, I've been talking a lot with my students lately about plagiarizing, right? And I thought about something. I was like, you know what? Maybe people don't understand the full context of plagiarism. And this video is for anybody that's in school, regardless if you're in elementary, middle school, high school, or college. I think this will be a very good video for everybody. Very short, just addressing what plagiarism is and why you should avoid it and what can you do to avoid plagiarism, because it's not as simple as you think. Let's start with the definition of plagiarizing. Plagiarizing is when you are using someone else's work that is not your own. That's pretty much the simple definition of it, right? And there's many different forms of plagiarism. Like, obviously, plagiarism in a nutshell, the easiest way to recognize it is you copying word from word somebody else's work without giving proper citation. In other words, giving proper credit to the original owner of the work. If you want to look at it from a musical standpoint, you can look at it as copyright. That's a form of plagiarism. We just use the word copyright for a musical term and whatnot, but it could be applied all across the board, right? Even in academia. So plagiarizing. Why do people plagiarize? Well, it's not as simple as you think it is, but I guess the most simple answer to that would be people don't want to put in the work. People are lazy and so on and so forth. But I think it's even a little deeper than that when I think about my students and why they've plagiarized. So here's a couple reasons why you might find, if you're a teacher or a parent, why your kids may plagiarize. Number one, they might just be lazy and might not feel like putting in the work for it. Number two, they could simply just not understand the work. So their mindset is, I'm going to just get this done the best way I can and whatever. I'm going to just get it out the way. Number three, they also don't understand the resources that they need in order to properly do the work well. So I think those are the three main reasons why people typically plagiarize. And when people plagiarize, in most cases, it's not necessarily that there's malicious intent behind it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's right just because it's not malicious intent behind plagiarizing. So I want to address anybody that's watching this video that is currently a student, regardless if you're in elementary, middle school, high school, or college, as far as what can you do to avoid plagiarism? Well, number one, understand and know your resources, okay? Now, the resources part, this is mainly for my middle school, high school students, and college students. Understand where you can cite your information from. There's nothing wrong with using other people's information in your essays, your research papers, and things like that, if you are giving credit where credit is due. You have to know how to properly cite your sources, regardless if it's APA format, MLA format, Chicago, whatever the case may be. You want to make sure that you are properly citing your evidence, okay, and knowing the resources that you can use. If you're unsure, ask your teacher, ask your professor, ask your library. They should be able to assist you with this. Number two, don't wait until the last minute to get your work done. Most people that plagiarize, from my experience as being a teacher, most people that plagiarize are the individuals that wait till the last minute to get stuff done. Not saying all, but most. And they're trying to rush through it and just get it done any way possible. No, you don't want to do that, okay? You want to be very mindful of that. And last but not least, number three, ask your teacher for help. Ask your professor for help. You know what I'm saying? That's ultimately what they're there for. I tell my students all the time, if it's something you don't understand, talk to me. Because chances are, if you don't ask them for help, you'll be lost in the sauce. And I know this video is going to go over 5 minutes, but whatever. It's something that I want to bring up really quickly for my high school students that are watching this. And maybe even some of my college students who are watching this. Like I say, you're a freshman. Understand that if you plagiarize in college, they can kick you out of the school. Okay? I tell my students that all the time. I tell freshmen in college that all the time, to just be very mindful. If you're not sure that it's plagiarism or a form of plagiarism, ask your professor, ask your teacher. You will not be penalized for simply asking a question. Hey, would this be considered plagiarism? I just want to double check and make sure. Okay, if this is, how can I make this so I'm not plagiarizing, right? So when you think about plagiarism, for anybody who's watching this video that's a teacher or a parent, don't automatically assume that the student is being lazy. I know a lot of times we tend to go that route. I've been guilty. But the student may not understand what they're doing, especially if you have like an ELL student, stands for English Language Learner, for those who may not know. And this is their first time writing an essay in English or doing a paper in English. They might not know that what they're doing is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a language barrier there. They might think, oh, if I just copy this from the internet, this is how it's supposed to go. No, you have to make sure you take time to work with your students, work with your kids, all right? Plagiarizing is not the end of the world, but it is something to be taken seriously, and there can be severe consequences if not handled properly. And obviously the consequences go up the higher you go up. So hopefully this video helped. I didn't want to focus so much on the negatives, just mainly focusing on the reasons why and what students should do so that way they don't plagiarize and they can have a more effective assignment turned in, or, you know, whatever the case may be. All right. This is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesday. It's going to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. I know this was longer than 5 minutes, but I hope that you guys understood the message. If there's anything that you feel like I left out, or maybe some things I could have added, please feel free to leave a comment below. Much love. See you guys next time.